Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
And welcome to the monsoon of 2024. We are here at the Navigant Credit Union Westerly branch for their annual Christmas celebration, holiday celebration. I always worry when we make dates in December, is it going to snow? It's 60 degrees out there, but they've closed the Stonington schools, I understand, because there is flooding. And it's interesting, very interesting living in New England. We are here to celebrate not only the Navigant Credit Union, but what they do in service for the community. And we're turning things around a little bit. I am with my boss over here, Ben Barber.
Boss is a strong word. I wouldn't say boss.
All right.
I wouldn't say boss.
Pain in the butt.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
DJ Gadget, our erstwhile producer, is on her way. I believe she's driving down from Hartford today, and that's not where you want to be driving. You don't want to be on the highway today, so she's coming in late, but she will be here. So we've turned things around a little, and I have with me Steve Ormerod. You are head of scams, fraud, the elderly scams, the written scams, and everything else for the Navigant Credit Union, correct?
Correct. In charge of security and fraud. Correct.
And you did it so beautifully. And I said it so long and screwed up. And you have with you Lieutenant Rich Potasic. He is from the Rhode Island State Police. And you work with more than just Navigant or all the different offices.
So we work with all financial institutions. We get complaints from a variety of sources.
Oh, I bet you do.
Absolutely. We're definitely not lacking cases. I'll say that. But yeah, we work with financial institutions. Like I said, we get a lot of complaints from various sources, law enforcement, individuals, attorneys. I mean, you name it. We hear it from everybody.
Yeah, I always say you could do a program like this every single week. Last week we had on, and we do it once a month with him, we had Detective Howie Mills from the Westerly Police Department, and he doesn't always talk about scams, but it always winds up getting back to that. You know, everything from the grandma scam to falling in love on the internet to all the other stuff. Go to Walmart and buy gift cards, and because your so-and-so is in prison. I don't know how you keep up with it all, because as quick as law enforcement seems to get on top of it, there are new ones all the time, aren't there?
So that is one of the challenges we face. You kind of hit the nail on the head. When we do see a certain type of fraud that's kind of, the one that we're seeing most often, kind of able to figure out, methods to hopefully halt those, or at least, investigate those pretty thoroughly. And then the next time around, they kind of adjust it a little bit, so it makes it a little more challenging. One of the bigger ones we're seeing now is with cryptocurrency. If you're familiar with that.
Yeah, he talked about that last week too.
Yeah, we're seeing a big uptick in that. You mentioned gift cards. A lot of times it used to be, whatever the scam involved, whether it was a romance scam, the grandparent scam, investment scams. There's just so many, but they always kind of utilized either cash or buying gift cards or some, typical payment method that we're used to. Now we're seeing them switch over to cryptocurrency, where they're asking you to take money out of an institution like Navigant, right, and then go to a Bitcoin ATM machine or any other kind of cryptocurrency ATM,
which they've got in all the supermarkets now and everywhere.
Yep, I know there's if you
Cumberland
Google it right
Farms.
now, if you put it on your phone right now, there's probably at least 2 or 3 around this area. Wow. And it just makes it very easy for these criminals to get victims to take their money to that location. And once it's in that ATM machine, it can be, overseas in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's scary. It really is.
It is.
I know I said to him, why would anybody do that? Don't they realize how crazy that is? And he said, because they're hitting them emotionally, and they're saying, if you don't do this, you know, the IRS is coming for you today, you're going to prison, or a police officer's coming, and they get people so worked up, especially elderly people, that they don't stop to think, hey, wait, that doesn't make sense.
Right. Typically, there's usually, like I said, an urgency that something has to be done as soon as possible. The scammers will also tell you not to notify anybody. It's a secret. If you tell somebody there's a gag order on the case, you can't get any information out. Any of those are red flags. That's not typically going to happen, obviously, in any real case situation. So if you hear anything like that urgency factor, that's a huge red flag. The one scam that urgency really doesn't pertain to is the investment scams, because they actually want to kind of groom you and to show that you're earning money, you're making money, which is always fictitious. But that they're going to take time to get you to trust them, to believe them, and then at the end of the scam, you almost feel like you know this person, and obviously you've never met them, you never will.
Wow.
But those take a little longer to kind of, like I said, perpetrate. But the majority of them, like I said, the romance scams and the especially the elderly, grandparent scam one, that's always an urgency to it.
And with the elderly too, a lot of them are embarrassed. Don't tell my son, my son or daughter or whatever. They'll think I'm getting feeble, or so they'll do anything.
That's a big part of it as well. We see, like I said, they don't want to ask for help. The independence is there. And then even if they do sense that maybe something's not right, they don't want to tell anybody, because then they're embarrassed that they did become a victim. Yeah. And we tell people all the time, don't feel that way, especially when you bring it to us. We're never going to say, how did you do that? Why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that. We understand that, because these people that are committing these frauds, they're good at what they do. They're professionals in their own industry. So
how did we get to this point? It's mostly because of the internet, I would think.
It's internet, it's opportunity.
We never worried about this stuff when I was growing up. We didn't worry about it 25 years ago like we do now.
But I don't know that I agree with you on that. I just think that it's more, first of all, we hear more about it because of the internet, because of the news. But for instance, Rich can tell you, there's something called the bank examiner scam. That's been going on forever. And how people approached it was a little different. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have text messaging. They didn't have emails to reach out to their victims. But that scam's 100 years old. And
Are you at liberty to say what that? I mean, I know what a bank examiner is or does, but
so I'm sure I could tell you that you'll be reached out to by someone either via text message or a phone call or email, and you'll be told that there's been suspicious activity on your account, and they'll ask you to move your money while the particular financial institution is being investigated.
wow.
And don't tell anybody at the financial institution, because this is a very classified investigation that's going on. And as Rich mentioned, the Bitcoin ATMs, they'll tell you, take $15,000 out, deposit it at a Bitcoin ATM. I shouldn't say Bitcoin, a crypto ATM.
Right.
For safekeeping, and once you make that deposit, the money is as good as gone. And naturally, they'll give a name. I'm working with so-and-so from the Rhode Island State Police, or so-and-so from the Westerly Police Department. You'll end up finding out a lot of times the name is non-existent, the person doesn't exist. And as Detective Lieutenant said, by the time we learn about it frequently, it's too late. So that's why we, particularly large cash withdrawals, sometimes people get a little upset when we start asking questions, and sometimes we've gone as far as just refusing to do it. But we're trying to protect folks from losing their money.
Absolutely.
Because once you walk out the door with that $15,000 or $25,000, you're never going to see it again.
So, Rich, your job is, when you finally can find the person or get to the heart of it, you can never get the money back. You're just trying to get them, right? To stop it, to stop the thread.
So that depends. Obviously, anytime a financial crime case is reported to us, we're going to investigate it ultimately to try and, find the person that committed it and charge them criminally. Generally in those criminal cases, whatever the monetary losses, restitution would be ordered by the courts. The problem with that is, hypothetically, let's say somebody lost $100,000. Once we find the person and they're charged, they're not forced to pay $100,000 back the day they're arrested. The system doesn't work like that.
Wow.
So they'll be ordered to pay restitution. But then there's a whole process that goes, which is outside of, our realm as far as, what can they afford to pay? So you'll see some cases where maybe that 100,000, well, they can only afford to pay $10 a week. So do the math. How long is it going to take to pay that off? So the victim would maybe get some money, but it's not an instant payback once there's an arrest made, unfortunately. It just
Well,
doesn't
I'm
work.
thinking about way back, and you probably could give me the exact date. I'm thinking it was about 1990 when you had Mollicone, that whole thing with the credit unions here. And they finally got him in Utah. They put him in prison and he's paying it off. He'll die before he ever pays all that money off.
So that's what a lot of the cases, unfortunately, end up happening. And I wish there was a better system in place for that, but that's just the way it works.
Then how come if I commit a crime, I'd be in prison forever?
It does seem like that it's not.
I mean, it
balanced.
always seems like the bad guys get a break. Oh, look what the rain just dragged in. Here comes producer DJ Gadget. But that's okay. We will continue. You can get your face out of there. Maybe sit down and do some work. Boss has to get back. So what can the average person do? I mean, I heard a woman yesterday on, I think it was Channel 10, and she said, I don't believe anybody anymore. I don't believe my own kids. I don't believe the mail I get. I got something in the mail yesterday that was one of those, their internet had been in some way compromised. This is an large orthopedic concern in Rhode Island, and they're letting everyone know. And I'm saying to myself, it was addressed to my husband, who hasn't been around for 3.5 years. He died. And I'm saying, is this a scam? Is it not a scam?
That's the problem.
You don't know.
Unfortunately, it's the
I
law.
just threw it away.
When there's a compromise that you have to be notified. And I'm sure the lieutenant will agree with me that the best way to protect yourself is to verify. No government agency, no law enforcement agency, the IRS, nobody's going to call you or text you and tell you that you owe money. And I think you used common sense earlier. And what we do these type things quite often, trying to talk to people to get them to stop and think for a minute and think about it, that the IRS doesn't call you. If the IRS has any beef with you, it's going to come by letter, period. There's never going to be a text message from the IRS.
Wow.
You would also have like an itemized bill, right? Like they would send.
No, they would tell you, but they would leave you a phone number as well to contact for more information. Quite honestly, letters from the IRS contain very little information because, unfortunately, mail gets stolen.
Yeah.
And so they try to share as little as your personal information as possible.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is important is you mentioned to verify information. So if you get one of the calls that says, it's a law enforcement officer or your son, granddaughter, whoever's in an accident, or an attorney, you have to, like Steve said, stop, pause for a minute, but ask questions. So if they say they're from the Westerly Police Department, what's the officer's name? And then say, hang up, call Westerly Police. Call the number that you find online. They may give you a number or give you a number for an attorney.
That's what Detective Mills was saying last week. Always call the police.
Verify the information that you know to be accurate. And again, if it is saying a loved one got hurt in an accident, if you can, try and call that person directly. Maybe they are out of state, maybe they don't answer their phone at the time, or call a family member that can verify.
Well, Detective Mills said one department could call another. It could be Nebraska.
Absolutely.
And they can do that too.
There's ways around that. Yep. And then the other thing that now, similar to what you'll have in a bank account where there's passcodes or there's verifications that you have to enter the right secret security question. I recommend you have to do that verbally now with your family. So you have to have either your own password or a passcode. So if your grandson calls and he says, I'm in an accident, you got to say, well, what's the password? Maybe it's elephant. So if you say elephant, just about now it's real. If not, then
I was about to suggest we've got
now
Christmas.
I know your password. So
right.
We got Christmas coming up. Families will be getting together. Wouldn't it be a good idea around that holiday table to say, hey guys, let's just talk for 5 or 10 minutes about this. That way you're not pointing the finger at grandma, because it could happen to anybody, and come up with the password and talk about, just like kids are being taught. You know, if a man asks you to get in the car, don't go with him, or say this, or run away. They should do that for this. And I would think it
Absolutely,
would
yeah.
help a lot.
It's a great time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so as well.
Mhm.
What else? Because we're going to turn you loose, and because my guy just came in from the Worms Center, and we've got goodies to give him. But what else can you warn people about during the holidays?
What we're seeing a lot of right now is romance scam, and I think it's connected to the holidays. And the unfortunate part is we're seeing some folks that just will not believe they're being scammed. We've got 3 different women who believe they're being wooed by a 4-star general from the United States Army.
That happened here in Westerly.
I
remember.
It's prevalent. It's prevalent. As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
I
that
just had
happened
one.
last year in Westerly.
his name,
And he was from Texas, supposedly.
he is the number 1 romance scam name being used
Wow.
right now. In the scam, just in case you have a family member, or even for anybody listening, this sounds familiar. He'll eventually ask for money because he'll say his pension's tied up and he needs money, and it might be just several $1,000s. But I don't know about you, but I don't want to lose $5,000, $7,000, $8,000.
Right.
But that's all they'll ask for. And as Rich said, they're pretty smart. They're very well crafted at what they do.
They
And
take
they
time.
know how much
again,
to
like
ask
you
for.
said.
They're not going to ask somebody for $50,000 that doesn't have it. But if you have $10,000, they'll ask you for 9. They'll ask you for 8. They'll ask you for 7. They'll get what they can out of you. And
How do they know what you've got?
because people are so kind that they're so willing to share their passwords to their online banking apps.
Oh, good Lord.
And the bad guys will actually go in and look. They'll see what you have. They'll transfer money. And next thing you know, you're either depositing the money at a crypto ATM, or you're buying gift cards. And as you mentioned, everything we try to do to thwart them. Walmart, for instance, will now, if anybody tries to go in and buy several $1,000s worth of gift cards, they'll actually tell them no. So what's the next thing? There's nobody at the crypto ATM to tell you no.
I mentioned last week that I was at Walmart Center of New England, Coventry, and they've got a screen at customer service, and in English and in Spanish, they're saying that about buying gift cards and all of that. And I was watching as I was in line. I was watching the crawl on that. Great idea. They should be doing that in a lot more places.
Right. Yeah. I think awareness is just the most important thing we can kind of share at this point. Education, like I said, sharing this information with family, friends, elderly community, everybody that could and would be victimized by this. So the more people that know, and again, sharing that information, somebody may recognize, oh, I heard this story, somewhere before, and it may take that just 1 second, like Steve mentioned, to pause, stop, and think about it, and say, hey, this doesn't sound right.
But they always think it's different with me. He really loves me.
And that's
He really wants to
that's one of
come
the
here. He
problems
couldn't help that his car broke
right.
down.
And with that romance scam, like we said, that's not an instant ask for money. That's grooming over weeks or months before they ask for the first money component, and it's
So
always going to start
sad.
out small, and then it just grows and grows and grows. And there's cases we've seen, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've lost over the course of months or sometimes even longer. Ironically, the case Steve mentioned about the Army general, we had one with that same exact scenario. It was connected to Rhode Island, but the woman that was actually sending the money was out of state. And same thing, she believed that she was communicating with this general who was overseas on a special assignment. She had his name. She kind of did the right thing. She researched him online, and he is a real person. This guy does exist. He's a
Wow.
5-star general. He's retired.
Why can't they get him then?
He's not the criminal. He's a real person.
It's the one.
It's somebody pretending to be him. But
He
because
has to
there's
be
so much
so
information on him out on the
embarrassed
internet, anybody can pretty much just read. He's on, Wikipedia. I can tell you
He better
everything he's
change
ever
his
done.
name soon.
But
But then why
Seriously.
change your name? You just lost all of the accolades
Right.
you got your
So what-
entire life.
Right. And what you have to do, like in
I'm
that
thinking
case,
in terms of what happened to
Yeah.
the guy from United Health.
yeah.
Change your whole identity.
Right. So in this case, like we told the victim who had been sending the money, Google his name again. But after that, comma, and then type in the word fraud. She did that and then exactly came up with Steve. It says that's the most commonly used name identity for romance scams.
Good
And then she
Lord.
finally realized
Is he cute?
he's a handsome gentleman. He's older. He's retired. Like I said, that's
Would
everything
you just
about
sit
him.
there and drink your drink?
Well, you just made a good point. They're not going to send a picture of somebody
Yeah.
that
Yeah, of
maybe
course.
isn't good looking. It's going to be an attractive person. There's a good story behind him. They're, it's
Yeah.
a family person. They've either been divorced, widowed. There's always something. It's not, they're just going to say it's, somebody that just walked off the street corner and look, I need your money. It doesn't, they know that's not going to work.
Before we let you go and wish you a happy holiday, I can remember, and I'm going back now at least 20 years, but I have a friend who lives here in Westerly, and she works for Cigna Insurance, and it's all computers, IT. She heads up a department and all of that. And it's not Cigna per se, but she said a long time ago, she's very smart when it comes to computers. She said, if these people that come up with this stuff could just take half of what they know, a quarter of what they know, to do some good in the world, think of how well off we'd be, because she said they've got brains. They're smart.
No, you're right. Absolutely. The challenge, I guess, with that is that requires you to work, a regular schedule Monday through Friday that they don't want to do. And again, they can be doing this 2-3 in the morning for a couple of hours. And then it's just it's just a whole different element for them.
You could do another show on the psychology of the criminals, because as Rich said, it's trying to make an easy buck, but there's the challenge in doing it at somebody else's expense.
Yeah.
There's a psychological.
And from
component
what
to that
I
as well.
understand, from the very little bit I know about criminology, it's not my fault. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm helping
Or
in some way.
As in, you mentioned the case with the poor CEO of United Health. So the blame is it's your fault that something's, and people are able to rationalize that thing. They can afford to have this money. I mean, do you realize a lot of this originates outside of the country?
Sure.
In other countries, think that every single one of us is a millionaire, and that's not the truth. A lot of the people that are being scammed out of every last cent they have.
Wow. Yeah, their life savings. Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you. We could have you back and do a whole show, and
You should sometime.
I will
We
tell
could.
Gina to do that. Tell Navigant to sponsor it. We'll get Tim Draper to get behind this.
He might be a millionaire. He could do it.
Oh, he is. He'll tell you. Have a very happy holiday.
Merry Christmas to both of you. Thanks for having
yes.
us on.
Thank you so much. Before we get Russell in here, I don't know if Ben told you on his way out and your way in, but he said, go to commercials while we're changing people.
Oh,
So we're going to commercials for a few minutes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Take care.
all right. That's a good idea.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Dunn's Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step in a Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patridge down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Brunch has arrived at Surf Cantina every Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't miss our weekly specials like Monday Night Industry Night, Taco Tuesday with DJ Trivia, $1 Wing Wednesdays, Reggae Thursdays, DJs every weekend at 10 p.m. and karaoke on Sundays at 8. Only at Surf Cantina, 15 Canal Street in downtown Westerly.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interests in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Westerly office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
Anything?
Here I go.
Here we are. We are back at the Navigant Credit Union celebrating the holidays. And yes, and that's we try to teach her. Yes, that's Gina Brancato. You'll see her later. She knows banking, period. We're here with a happy triumvirate. And every time we're here, I think we have the same people. We have Deb Beauchamp, who's in charge of mortgages. We have Jenny Ellis, is it? Yes. And we have Mike Hogan, who is financial planning. You are all very important to the Navigant Credit Union. You all work South County, correct? You work the southern part of the world.
I want to correct something. I am not in charge of the mortgage department.
You guys gotta act like you like each other and get a little bit closer. Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
I work for the mortgage department. But,
Okay.
I
She's
have
not
two
in charge.
bosses.
Okay. Are they listening?
Are
Are we in trouble?
Do you like them?
I
Do you like your
them a lot.
bosses? Oh yeah.
So Freddie Almeida is my immediate boss. Then Dave DeCubelis is his boss. And actually Dave is a Westerly. His family lives in Westerly. So his mom and dad.
Very good. People that live here never leave. They don't move. They don't go very far.
Yeah.
But you found that out, I'm sure. So how many branches are we talking about? Do you all have the same amount of branches?
Primarily. 7 to 8 branches. I'd say 8 branches.
Yeah, Warwick
Warwick
to
and South.
Westerly.
So then you are called on a daily basis?
Hopefully, yeah. That's our wish. Yeah,
Sometimes
so,
multiple times a day.
right. So we handle the branches. What happens is if they'll call and say, oh, Deb, I have a mortgage referral, then I'll obviously call the customer, either set up an appointment or we can do it on the phone. Same with Mike and Jenny, so we don't necessarily sit in one branch all the time because
I was going to say, can you go to their homes if they prefer to be met in their home, or are you met at the branch?
in the past I used to do that when I worked for another place, but mainly we do meet them in the branch. I just feel like it's a little safer. I think nowadays is a little different, but back in the day, I have to tell you, I remember going to people's houses at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. That was, back in the.
I did that when I sold health insurance.
Yeah.
Drove all over and went to people's homes at night.
Yeah.
We have 26 branches now, so it's pretty convenient to get to a branch to meet with one of us, depending upon what their banking needs are.
You're everywhere. Where's the next branch going to be? I always ask that of Tim, but I haven't talked to him.
I'd have to guess somewhere between North Kingstown and Westerly, because North Kingstown was our last branch that we opened this past summer.
Right.
I don't know why I think that there's going to be Johnston area.
No, it's a
Are you guys only in Rhode Island?
Correct.
Are you? Is that like you're never going to go to Connecticut?
It's a discussion. They're talking about. Well, they've talked about like Mass, like maybe Swansea or Attleboro.
Or like if you want to go to Mass, you might as well go to East Hartford.
There's discussions about perhaps going into Connecticut as well too.
East Hartford, Hartford.
I mean, they are at the borders. I mean, well, Westerly certainly is the border, and you're really close to Attleboro, aren't you? Don't you have a branch right
Cumberland? They're in
Pawtucket.
Yeah, and they're near like Chepachet, so they're near that Connecticut border over there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be going to Hartford, but
The funny thing is, it doesn't actually matter because this is still our bank, even though we own a business in East Hartford. So this segment is brought to you by Amco East Hartford. Yeah, Jenny actually helped us a lot with like not only banking stuff, but like her wisdom, her knowledge, eased some fears, created some more other fears,
helping you get over some of those fears.
Yeah, it was good. It was amazing.
That's great. Let me ask you, I don't know if you heard the last interview at all, probably not, but when we were talking about fraud and scams and all of that, the idea was brought up that with the holidays coming, you're going to have families together more than they normally are, sitting around, visiting, eating, drinking, playing games, opening gifts, whatever. Would it not be a good idea to talk about financial planning? Not specifics, because, mom and dad maybe don't want uncle and auntie and everybody else to know what you have, but to talk about the reason for it and why people should do what they do, and also where to find things, because there are people that die intestate all the time, and there are families that are just left with a mess and a bag of receipts, as we saw a couple of years ago when the owner of the radio station died suddenly, and all his records were kept here. And suddenly, the accountant was called in, and she's walking out with supermarket bags and little slips of things, and nobody knew where anything was.
The Krista Paula system.
Is that not a good idea for businesses and also for personal to talk about at the holidays?
So thank you very much for having me, Ron. I greatly appreciate the time today.
You just like the meatballs.
I'm here for the meatballs and shrimp, surf and turf.
Right.
You're correct in saying that speaking of financial planning is extremely important. Whether you're just starting out in life with your family or you're later in life preparing for retirement, both are very important time frames when you need to discuss your planning. But you bring up a more important topic, and that's the legal documentation. And one thing that we do, we don't recommend wills or trusts, but we do work in tandem with estate planning attorneys to build a financial plan for someone. But you don't want to disinherit and you don't want a family court deciding where your assets go in a passing.
Exactly.
So it's a very important discussion to have, albeit not a fun topic to discuss sometimes.
No, people tend to think of, not now, I'm healthy, I'll be fine. You don't know.
I think the most important thing to do at holidays, even if you don't want to bring up finances or anything or politics or blah, 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 is look around and see your family and ask yourself the question, what do you want for them if you were to leave them? The biggest thing I've seen in financial planning is death, like your life insurance. And who do you want on there? I have my best friend's little boy. I don't have children. So I put on my life insurance, he's a contingent. So if me and Jen both die, he gets to be a millionaire. It's fine. Like, I don't expect him to prepare a funeral or anything. And that's what a will is for. I want it to be clear in my will that he is not to have the responsibility to do the burial, because a lot of life insurance, it's for the burial and the blah, blah, blah. No, don't worry about it, kiddo. Go to college and or go do whatever you want to do.
It's extremely important to have those documents prepared ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's not tedious to do, but to your point, you don't want to leave a mess behind.
No.
And unfortunately, after doing this for 27 years, I see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for lack of love or caring. It's just that people tend not to make the time to go and take care of it.
I'll do that one
time.
of these days.
Oh,
right?
Jesus. I thought you were saying that. I was like,
no.
Oh, gosh.
When they sit with you, or even, when you're talking about a mortgage, you better have all this other stuff in place, or business. Are you at liberty, if they ask, to recommend a lawyer? Do you have a list of a few so that you're not pushing business to
We're
one?
at liberty of giving recommendations, but we typically give multiple, at least 2 or 3, for
Mhm.
them to make the choice, because we don't want to be on the hook.
No,
if that
of course
first,
not.
if we only give one reference and it doesn't come through. But to your point, and what Mike was talking about is it's not important. It's important for your family to have a succession plan as people pass away in your family, but also with your business, it's important to have a succession plan too. If there's 2 partners in a business, one of the partners passes away, is that next partner going to be somebody's wife or husband that
Don't
is
they have
surviving?
something, and I probably don't know what I'm talking about, like the key man policy?
There is such a thing. Yep. And that's something you can talk to Mike and speak about. But there are such policies. If somebody is that important in the business, and losing that person would create havoc within the business, then yes.
Right.
And some financial institutions require that there's insurance that Navigant is named in as a beneficiary in some situations.
Very good.
Yeah, so there are quite a few insurance plans that will benefit a business in a passing. So the Key Man Life Insurance policy is one of those, but it's put in place to either support the business at a passing or buy out the family at a passing. So it's a great thing to do, and it's usually a benefit to the business in that the company pays for it in a lot of cases. So there are very convenient ways to design it so that the business pays for it, yet both beneficiaries and the life insurance individuals themselves benefit from this.
Okay, let's go to Deb, the new head of mortgages for Navigant.
She just got a promotion. Right
Yeah,
here.
I think I could
I'm gonna
really
get in
get you right
trouble.
up the ladder. I hear stuff, you catch a little bit, and they say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Mhm.
I listen to talk radio, so I get the end of a news story, or I see something at night on television, or I read something. I've always been fascinated with real estate, so I read the real estate pages every week and see who's buying a home around here and for how much and who sold it and all of that. It is a little easier now, is it not? Didn't it just come down, the interest rate, like an oomph of a point or something?
It did. I guess it came down a little bit. They are predicting that rates will come down next year, God willing. I know they're speaking next week about prime. Next week about prime. So that'll be interesting. We don't necessarily get affected by prime. We're affected by the stock market, consumer confidence, things that are going on in the world. This, if the stock markets goes down, rates usually do. If stock market's high, everything is great. Consumer confidence is high, then rates will stay high. If
Isn't
not,
the
teeter.
election tied to that?
I think
I
so.
mean, when you say consumer confidence, there were people, rending their clothes and moving out of the country.
Yeah, I know. I don't think you want to hear my opinion on that. I just feel that whether you voted for him or her, the American people spoke, right?
Exactly.
Whether we like it or not, but I do feel that with the way things are going, I do feel rates will come down, and the market was good this year. It wasn't bad. I think next year, even if they come down even a point, we're going to be very busy. Because I show people, like if the rate today is 6.5 and the rate goes down to 5.5 next year, you're going to save $270, $300 a month on your mortgage payment.
Wow.
And you always, when I tell people when they refinance, you usually want 1 point at least to make it worth your while. And in this situation, with the way rates have been so high, and a lot of people have done adjustable type mortgages, they're going to benefit next year. If that rate goes down, lock it in, because I don't think we're going to see the threes again. I mean, I shouldn't probably say that. I don't know, but if I had to guess and bet, I don't think we're going to see 2.75, 3.25. No. So, if rates get into the low fives, lock it in. Refinance. It's the time to do it. And you can refinance more than once. If something else happens and it goes down again, there's no penalty to refinance. So, all in all, Navigant did very well this year. We had a great year. People are still buying houses. They always will,
Exactly. I mean, I see that too. And it seems to me like those pages have increased a little bit.
They have. The problem is the values I don't see going down anytime soon because there's no inventory. There's
true.
So many buyers out there. Trust me. Like I have people I talked to today. They're like, you just can't go in at asking price right now. Unfortunately, you have to overbid. And I had this young girl I talked to. She's like, I don't want to go over 350. I'm like, I felt bad, but I'm thinking to myself, there's no way she's going to get that condo. Someone's going to overbid.
Exactly.
And that's the problem.
I have talked to realtors who tell me, and top realtors, and they'll say in my office, other than, and they'll mention 1 or 2 names, because his wife or her husband have another job. We all had to get part-time jobs.
Oh my God.
Because there was
many
no
realtors
inventory.
right now. So many realtors.
There's not a ton that are, killing it. There's always that top percent, and we all know who those people usually are.
Sure.
But it's not easy out there.
But you look around,
yeah.
We get 39 cities and towns, and other than a couple of them, most of them don't have $7 million homes on the market, or 5 million or 3 million. You get a couple here and a couple there, and just the ordinary home, they're not getting those listings.
I know. And unfortunately, with there's a new regulation with NAR about, commissions. And sometimes sellers can say, I'm only going to pay 1 or 2%. They can dictate what the days of the 6% commission to sell a house.
They're long gone.
Long gone.
So they're not making that money.
Not necessarily. They're not. There are some agents out there. I don't know how they do it without saying any names, but the bottom line is the average is 4%. So you think about it. If you're not selling that house and listing it, you're only getting half of that. And if you're not the broker, you got to pay to the broker too.
Yeah.
So you're only getting a piece of it. I mean, the good news is, the loan amounts are higher, the prices are higher. So, that's nice for commission wise, but yeah.
So give us some good news for 2025.
Oh, I think
any one of the three of you.
Yeah, I'll say quickly that I do feel 2025 is going to be a better year. I think more houses will go on the market, and I think rates will definitely come down a little bit. So
good. We like that. Don't say anything bad then. Mike?
Well, I'll give you the money manager's forecast for 2025 that I've read up on. What we're seeing is after the election that, we're looking at deregulation of specific industries going into 2025. certain energy independence going into 2025. The Trump era tax cuts were set to sunset. They'll probably be extended, plus declining interest rates. So those are all favorable things for a pretty solid market going forward. You can't predict, the catastrophic things that could take place between what's going on in the Middle East or what's going on in Eastern Europe. But our economy seems to be recovering from the high inflation. So things are looking pretty good for the markets right now.
And Lord knows people are spending money on Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not have it to spend. They may get hit terribly in January and February, but people are out there.
What you get me?
All I see on the road are Amazon trucks. Amazon, everywhere I go, Amazon trucks.
Oh, I can confirm that because our back lot just got rented out by Amazon and they have tons of delivery trucks just parked, and people, it goes like that in the morning and then people come get the trucks and park their cars there. So it's like a locked lot in the back now. And it's like so many trucks and they're all gone. Like there's probably 100. They're all gone.
We should see the holiday retail numbers come in right after Christmas, and that's a pretty good economic indicator of where our economy is going to be going.
Mm-hmm. So when's food going to go down? Because I don't see food going down at all. The prices are ridiculous in stores.
Well, the government's measurement on inflation doesn't include things like energy. There are key things that it does not incorporate. Excuse me. So that's why, the inflation dropping versus prices dropping are two very different things.
Yeah.
So
well, people like us don't understand that. Maybe you do. I don't. I don't. I just go in the store and say, "Are you kidding me?" And then I say other things, which I'm not going to say on the radio.
Yeah,
or
no.
you will see the boss back here. You've got about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to bring Russell in from the Warm Center and start giving away the goodies. But I'd like to get a comment from each of you about what you do or about 2025 or how you want to work with people, Navigant people.
I can bring up a couple things. So we just talked about Christmas shopping and what happens in January, February when you see this debt in these credit card statements and these bills. We do a lot of debt consolidation. We do a lot of home equity lines of credit, consolidating people's debt, consolidating credit card debt, consolidating personal loan debt. We have a great credit card offer right now. It's 0% interest for 18 months, both on the business side and consumer side. Great time to secure a credit card like that, where you're paying 0% interest.
I love 0%
You heard it, 0% for 18 months.
Wow. And then what does it go to?
Depends on your credit. It's entirely
year and a
credit.
half.
It's credit based scored. It could be as low as 17.99 or as much as 29.99. But for that 18 months, if you're disciplined to pay it down and knock it down, it can make a huge difference. Some people transfer credit cards over to this 0% as well too. So we can do balance transfers. And then home equity lines are very popular.
All right, let's go back to the credit card for a minute, because I'm sure you got people's attention other than mine. If someone is interested, do they have to be a Navigant member?
We'd
or
like
can
them
they,
we'd like them to be. They don't have to. They do not have to.
They
be.
can come into a Navigant branch.
apply for a
Specifically, we're
credit card.
talking about
They
Westerly.
can come see Gina.
Come see Gina. Come see Angie, and say, "I want this credit card."
Yes.
And
wouldn't you be a Navigant member then if you have a line of credit with
I would
Navigant?
think
We
so,
would encourage
yeah.
it if we're going to get you that credit card in that promotion. Yeah. Typically. Yeah. So typically, and from a business standpoint, now is a very busy time for businesses to be securing financing. Some businesses have had healthy years. They're looking for a year-end write-off. We can perhaps still get any equipment purchase for them, a vehicle purchase, so that they can take that tax deduction in 2024. And we do a lot of debt consolidation and lines of credit on the business side too. So
yeah.
it's that time of year.
I would think businesses. I know. I work for a magazine in New York. And about 3 weeks ago, I got an email from them saying, please send your December invoice early. We want to pay you. They want to get it on the books for
Before
this
the-
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
Strategic.
Yeah. Mike, your comment, your words of wisdom.
Well, I gave my economic forecast for 2025. I think everything looks pretty good, all things being equal. But I will touch on the financial planning that we discussed and how important that is to have a plan in place. I meet with members on a daily basis here. I had 2 appointments today. Neither one of them actually did any full financial planning. So my recommendation is that you come in and meet with a member of our team on the wealth management side and talk about doing a financial plan.
And again, I know we've talked about this. You don't have to have a lot of wealth to do wealth management. Sometimes I think that expression frightens people. They think, well, I don't make a lot of money, I can't do planning.
Sounds all hoity-toity.
Well,
it does.
It does.
It really does.
It's very beneficial to have a plan in place. It puts a stake in the ground, and it allows you to, review things on an ongoing basis going forward. But it also teaches you what you need to do going forward.
Discipline.
Yeah, it's
Teaches
very
you
simple.
It's a lifelong discipline. So
It's like a holistic approach to being okay for the rest of your life, because
absolutely,
you wouldn't imagine now, but a 20-year-old starting now is mind-blowingly amazing. Like, you're going to turn 65, you're going to turn 30 and go, crap. That's what I did.
Where'd the time go?
Yeah.
But that's avoidable.
Okay, and now to the head of
Head of mortgages.
Yes, Martha Mortgage.
I'm going to say I have 2 things now. What you said, I think that's so true. Like for Mike, it's like just talking to a young kid at 20 and just saying, your first job, make sure you do the 401k before you do anything else. Invest.
If they
invest.
offer a 401k, always
Yeah.
take it, because then you have employer contributions too sometimes, and you can only put in like maybe a few dollars every pay period, and then they match it, or they do a percentage of your income.
100%.
It's free money.
Yeah. And then just 2 things is, well, one, I can't stress this enough about Navigant. This is how we are so great. And I tell realtors all the time, we do not sell our servicing. You have a problem with your mortgage, taxes, insurance, you call us. There's a person, we get to loan servicing, you have an answer within minutes. It's not like calling 1-800, I'm never going to speak to anybody. That's huge, 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 huge. Secondly, off what Jenny said, for people who are going to consolidate, and I see it all the time, people spend, but some people shouldn't be spending. If you want to consolidate and pay off debt, depending on your first mortgage rate, it doesn't matter. When you look at what you're paying off, it's best to refinance. Sometimes a line of credit isn't the way to go, because it's like giving someone a big credit card. You're better off locking into a fixed product where you have a payment that you have to make every month, principal and
Again,
interest.
that's discipline.
That's
It's
absolutely
discipline.
discipline, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think go Navigant. Come
I
see
like
us.
what I'm hearing. I'm hearing positive stuff,
Yeah.
because I think up until the election, and it really didn't make a whole lot of difference who was going to win. You just kept hearing the country's a mess, the country's horrible, and it was so down to listen to this stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear stuff that's up, but not sugar coated either.
No,
You all speak good English.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful holiday,
Thank you.
all
You as
3
well.
of you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
We will see you back here, I'm sure.
See you
in-
next year in
Yep.
2025.
See you in the new year. We're going to take a short break. And then if we can get Gina or Angie or somebody who works here, we're going to start giving out the goodies to our people. Coming up is Russ Patridge from the Warm Center. Thank you.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Duns Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Duns Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Duns Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Brunch has arrived at Surf Cantina every Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't miss our weekly specials like Monday Night Industry Night, Taco Tuesday with DJ Trivia, $1 Wing Wednesdays, Reggae Thursdays, DJs every weekend at 10 p.m. and karaoke on Sundays at 8. Only at Surf Cantina, 15 Canal Street in downtown Westerly.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interests in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Westerly office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
And we are back. We are back, and there's still a monsoon outside. And we just found out that Roxy, the radio dog, is here. She's just not inside in the bank, or else she'd have her nose in the shrimp and the meatballs and everything else. But she is very well taken care of out in the Jeep, climate controlled, correct?
Oh, yeah, it's running. She has music. She has a shrimp.
She does have shrimp.
She has music and she ate a
It's
shrimp.
a well taken care of
She's,
pup.
yes, she's a wonderful dog. She really is. Probably wondering, gee, this isn't so bad.
She would come in here and be like, "Is this for me?" I'd be like, "No, it's not."
We are back at the Navigant Credit Union, and this isn't for me either. This is for all of you, because at Navigant, their customers are their owners and their owners are their customers. I think that's one of the best slogans, and all 26 branches have that. We are here with Gina Brancato. She is the head navigant here. She
In
is the
Westerly
branch
only.
manager.
Not anywhere
When
else.
things are good, she smiles. When there's a problem, she's in the back room.
Yeah.
But thank you for inviting us again, and tell everybody about the project you had. I know you had it last year.
Yes.
People may not have been aware of it, so
Well,
make them aware.
Yeah, so this is our second year where we can always, obviously Navigant always promotes giving back, being part of the community, collecting toys around the season. This year we decided to solely focus on 3 of our major organizations locally, the neighborhood center. So we reach out to them and ask them, what do you need and how can we help? So aside from our regular volunteer hours that we do with Warm, so we'll do them on a Friday and go help serve lunch.
A comprehensive social service agency providing food, shelter, and clothing now to more than 4,000 unduplicated individuals a year. We will house on any given night 150 to 160 individuals, men, women, and children. We have a community meal site that is now doing about 40,000 meals a year. We're the only meal site in Washington County.
And that's 3 meals a lunch and dinner. Okay.
And so, yeah, we're doing 40,000 meals, just lunch and dinner
40,000
every year. Those numbers, of course, in Kingston. So
That's the place that's over by the University
that's
of Rhode
correct.
Island.
That's over by the University of Rhode Island. So, you know, for a small or I guess now moderate-sized nonprofit. We're not small anymore. We're incredibly busy. But I want to say to Gina and to the folks here at Navigant, what an awesome partnership this has been since Navigant has come into town. They showed up on pretty much on day one,
right? Asking how can we help?
How can we help? And
that's what Navigant does.
It's
and
important.
They do that
It's
statewide.
It's their culture. It's what they want to do, and it's what's made them so successful. But it's not a question, and it's not an effort. It's just something it's what we do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, to have these guys come, on Fridays and come in and serve a meal, but also really do, such as with this, reach out and say to us, what do you need and what can we do? And Navigant has been very much a leader in that. But also, I at the same time want to give a shout out to that. It is one of the most generous communities that I certainly have worked in, and to be part of this has really made it helps me to be able to go to work every day, because
and you've been going to work every day. How many years?
I've been at Warm for 17 years.
Wow.
Well, it'll be 17 years in June.
You've seen a lot of growth in those 17
We have,
years.
We have had a great deal of growth and change. I happened to come on into Warm just at the time, it was kind of right place, right time circumstance, and really have had the honor of leading Warm through its changes. And
it hasn't been easy. I mean,
no,
especially
it's been times
during
it's difficult.
COVID.
Yeah.
Well, also you said 17 years, so you came in about 1 year before the recession that we had in 08.
Correct. I
came
in June of that year, actually,
so you
July
got
of
the
that
daily
year.
double here.
So and we were, we were an agency at that time that really did serve the community. But as things have changed, so has the need. And luckily, we're able to partner with Navigant and the community to be able to meet the needs of folks who otherwise would struggle.
So speaking of people struggling, I always think about people are listening to this, watching it, maybe for the first time, or maybe things have changed for them.
Sure.
And they say, I could use some help. I'm embarrassed. How do I do it? What's the process?
The easiest way to start that contact is to give us a call. And you call the Warm Center at 596-9276, area code 401-596-9276, or come by. Anybody is welcome to come for a meal on any day of the week.
No questions asked.
No questions asked.
When I last time I was there, actually, there was a new gentleman that came in, and we get to know faces and whatnot. And I knew you could tell he was new, but he came in, and Kevin, who does the meals, who's awesome, was like, "Come on in. What's your name? Shake your hand. Here's what you do. Just have a seat." And that was it. It was just no questions asked. And meals
So
always served starts on time and ends on time.
Starts on time,
it's
ends on
12 to
time.
1 for
Yeah.
lunch. But they're just welcoming. It's not why are they here? It's not that atmosphere.
Yeah. We recognize, and the staff recognizes that it's hard enough to come in the door. And
I would
so,
think so.
we
That's
want to
making the
try to
first
make it
move.
make it
making
easier
the
for
phone
folks.
call that you're saying people should do.
Correct. Correct. And we'll connect you with the appropriate person. But things are very busy.
If you have us on and you're driving or preoccupied and you missed that number and you would like it, take a screenshot now and then continue to be safe. We have a banner on the bottom that says Warm Center, 401-596-9276, and you'll have it for later.
That's why we keep her.
Well,
sometimes we wonder
because
but that's why we
she
keep
does
her.
an amazing job.
I am fantastical and magical, ma'am.
Just sit there.
Hey, there you go. It's events like this that not only has it been headed up by Navigant, but it's the folks from the community who have made the contributions to the Warm Center and to the Jonnycake Center and to Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, and so it just shows the willingness of the community and the want of the community
and there's
to participate.
There's so much that somebody can offer if they're wondering how can I help or what can I give, or you don't need to have money to help them. It's just time also, and to meet their staff like Jill and all the workers. They're just you can't say no. You can't not have that feeling to want to help when you walk in there or talk to them, because they all have a story also. Yeah. So, and they're compassionate people, and it's just, it's great.
You know, I've been in this business, so to speak, much longer than I care to admit, but, you know, just a little over 30 years in providing social services and to families and individuals in crisis. But the last 17 years, I have been honored to work with just absolutely the best staff of people.
They're great.
You know,
they are great. They show up.
Use
and,
that
and
word
they're-
twice now.
What's that?
You say, I have been honored.
I am.
Not, I work here. I go to work here. It is an honor. And that comes across. That's a culture. Just like Navigant has their culture.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that the staff at Warm give it their all. They give everything. And you know, unfortunately, the things that we are experiencing these days, people are really having a tough time. And
housing, that's number one.
Housing is
isn't it?
number one. You want to end homelessness? Let's build housing.
Yeah.
And that's the direction, and that's where we're going. And to see that happen.
You have a project coming, correct?
We have a project that's online. We're working at it like crazy. We did purchase a property right next to the Warm Center, and we're rehabbing the property, and it will be a 2-family apartment and program primarily for families who are leaving homelessness but are waiting for more permanent housing. So
I just realized when you talked about dropping in to have something to eat, you don't have to make a reservation or call, just come in. We didn't say where it is. And for people who may be new in town or new to a situation, you should let them know.
Good point. The Warm Center is located at 56 Spruce Street here in Westerly, and people are welcome to come in, not only to come in if they're in need of service, but just as Gina has said, come in and take a look around and see what it is that we do. Homelessness is not what you think. I still say that after all of this time. And even now, the demographics in the face of homelessness really has changed a lot. We have a 19 bed shelter here in Westerly for single adults. Out of the 19 people who are there now, most of them are over the age of 55. So
I will share a story, and I'm not going to say who it is, but it's somebody that's close to me. Is in a relationship with this woman who has very apparent mental illness, very severe mental illness. And we've been talking to him and saying, you know, you need to call 911 on her. You need to get her help, because it's not her fault. But she's seeing things. She's told him he has lice, he has fleas, the bugs are everywhere. I mean, that to me, working in the field long enough, is a textbook schizophrenia or a delusion of some sort that is overtaking her life.
Right.
If you've ever seen the movie Bug, you know where that was leading. So she finally snapped, threatened him with a gun. He went to the police, and the police wouldn't help him. Domestic violence, and this isn't here. Domestic violence, when it comes to males being the abused, often get ignored, and it's very sad. And the cops said to him, "How do we know it's not your gun?" Well, it was nobody's gun because it wasn't registered, but she still didn't get in trouble for that. She was not getting any help. The services around completely failed her, and he got kicked out of the house. So we offered our help. We're like, you can bring all your stuff to the shop. We have plenty of storage. You could come to our house if you need. That's homeless. He's homeless
Sure.
right now. He actually ended up being very lucky. We sent him to somewhere to get something, and he's going to be coming back to a in-law apartment, and that he found, which is beautiful. And the owner of the property is very kind, very understanding, and loved that she could help him. But for that little bit of time, he was homeless.
Sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's begging for money. He had a job. He
Most homeless
has
people
a
work.
car. And he was fitting to sleep in his car. That's
But I
homeless.
worry about, I'm looking back behind me,
Sure.
and it was 60 degrees when I got here, but that was biblical rain.
Yeah.
Last week it was 12 degrees, and in between we had an ice storm. Are there children sleeping in cars and studying and doing schoolwork in a car?
That's a really a great question. The answer to that is probably. But if we know of
it's
it,
a horrible
it's
question.
not happening.
Well, it's a horrible answer.
But
Yeah.
if we know of it, if somebody reaches out, we have an outreach team that goes out and sees people who are living in other situations, living in the car, living in the woods. But if we know about it, I would send a team out to meet them, and we would work with the family to try to. Many times we will put families in motels for a period of time until we can get them stabilized and so forth. So it happens very quickly. Most people think it can't happen to me. You would be surprised. It takes about 30 days.
I
for
was
it
about to
happen.
quote this man, and he just walked in the door. But this is Lee Eastbourne.
My buddy.
From Jonnycake Center. And Lee said many ago, he said, a situation like that, it could be you lose a job today that you had yesterday.
Yeah.
Or someone died, or something, you had a fire, and all of a sudden now you have to ask for help.
Yep.
And I was wondering, when you were speaking, you said you've been 17 years at Warm.
Correct.
But you've been in the field, social services, 30 years.
Yep.
Is there and this is going to sound like it's not a nice question maybe, but is there a major that you take in college? What do you major in to know how to do this?
Well,
or is it life?
It's
Do
time
you
to be-
just take certain courses?
Time to be honest.
And then you get out and do it? Or you're a guitar player?
I actually went to school. I wanted to be an actor. That's what really seriously, I'm very serious. That's what I went to school for, and that's what I really wanted to do. And then found out I really needed a job.
We'll talk after.
And so I had come into this work kind of through the back door, so to speak.
We have a radio term for it. It's called half-ass.
Yeah. But I was very blessed that the people that I met initially or supervised me found something that I didn't know that I had, and they really felt that I had.
I'll tell you what that is. If you took acting, it's compassion and empathy and all those things that you learn.
And life experience is really what got me interested in this work and what has kept me doing this work. And I've just happened to be, as I said earlier, right time, right place in many circumstances, but also having people put in my path who recognized that maybe I had some talent in doing this and convinced me to continue to do this. So I owe my role here at Warm to many who have come before me. I
remember when I first was made familiar with the Warm Center, when I first came, there was a woman, I think she was a minister.
Correct.
Little short round lady, very nice.
She was a ball of fire.
Yes.
Reverend Jean Barry.
Yes.
Who the
Jean.
building, our new building is named after. She
I had the opportunity to work with Gene for about my first 3.5 years there at Warm. But it was people like that just gave me such an opportunity, but also training on really how to best provide service to people in difficult situations. Yeah, Gene was a fireball.
But I would imagine that the people you serve teach you. It's like the child is the father of the man.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's if I have said for the longest time that if people can survive homelessness, they can survive pretty much anything. It's not. This is incredibly difficult. It is not. There's no benefit to being homeless.
Right. It's not a choice.
But in some cases, people who have been chronically homeless, and may have different sets of circumstances, may have substance use disorder, may have a mental health disorder, and have been homeless for a long time. After a while, you just get beaten down so much that you don't move forward. It makes it more difficult to move forward. And those are the people that, that we really do try to reach as well, to engage in services, to come into the center, to come in for lunch, and at least begin to try to make some contact and some headway.
And if I remember correctly, the first time I learned about Warm and the housing and all of that, there's no tolerance for the fighting, the abuse,
Correct.
and all of that in the housing. Correct.
Correct.
Yes, you have to be clean.
We are a clean and sober
Yes.
environment, so you cannot use
coming in for the meals. I think you can come in as long as you're going to behave.
As long as
Right.
you
They
can
won't turn
maintain,
anyone away
right.
for behavior.
Right.
Yeah. As long
But
as you behave. But
in shelter, or in any of our housing programs, it is a substance-free program, and particularly in shelter because we have many people who are working towards their sobriety. So we really, we want people to be able to succeed that way because they may identify that that's something that's kept them in.
I wanted to ask Gina, because you referred to it a number of times, and I know what you're talking about, and Gadget does, and of course Russell does, but I always think about the people that are watching or listening when you talk about going there on Fridays to serve lunch or whatever. Please explain, either from your point of view, or you can add in, if people are listening and saying, well, gee, maybe my church group could do this, or my office could do this. Do you go every week, every month?
they have. The last time I was there was a couple weeks ago. I asked Kevin about the volunteers. I mean, he has binders of volunteers. The organizations can volunteer. People can volunteer. He has people volunteering pretty much every day for the lunch hour. And it's from 12 to 1. And you just call. You can call and ask Jill. You can call the office, ask Kevin, and say, can I volunteer on this day? Can I do it every month?
Do you cook the meals or
No,
do you serve?
Kevin does all the cooking. And when you go there, he's pulling something out of the oven, and everyone has a tray made up, and he can gauge how many people he'll have depending on the time of year, the time of the month, depending on when pays and things like that come through. And there's families, there's young children too that come in with their parents, and it's a hot meal. It is a hot meal with a side, usually a protein and a vegetable and a carb and a dessert and a bottle of water.
Wow.
And they'll get the hot meal, and then dinner's a hot meal also.
Correct.
And then if there are days where a hot meal can't be there, they do across the way it's a bagged meal. So there's an option. If Kevin's out sick or away, you're still getting your lunch and your dinner. But all they have to do is call or stop by and say, hey, I can volunteer from 12 to 1.
Great for a family to bring their kids.
Yeah.
When the kids
it's
are
humbling and it's
6, 7, 8, 9 years old, growing, and start that culture and that habit of service.
And people may put a bad stigma on it or be afraid, or they don't want their kids to see that. It's different people's opinions. It's It's a safe space. It literally is like a cafeteria. And I just invite people to go and look and see. But yeah, it's 1 hour, and kids have to do community service for all different types of things. So that type of thing would qualify.
I think kids should see homelessness. I think kids should see addiction. I think kids should see the ugly side of life, to remind them why the family connections are important.
Yes.
To remind them why falling into alcoholism or drug addiction is not the way to go.
Right.
Staying sober is important. Staying employed is important. Staying in school is important, because some homelessness comes from lack of education,
and not
therefore
on
lack
these
of getting a
people,
job,
because you don't know why they're in that situation.
right?
Either,
And it
know?
also causes, like, even though you're in this situation, I would like to help you. That's empathy,
right?
That's human. Like, in a world of AI, we need to be as human as we can.
Right.
Yeah.
We have volunteers and family members where it has been generational. And that's a really cool thing to see. Being there 17 years, I have seen exactly what you're talking about, Rona, and seeing parents come in with their little kids who are now
so great
in their early 20s, and they're still coming back to volunteer, and those kinds of things. It really does change people's perspective, and they understand that there is a need to give back, and it's
Because
important to give back.
It's not, I mean, when I was growing up, if you heard about somebody going to the Salvation Army or going somewhere for a meal, they always use the term soup kitchen.
Right.
And if it were a movie, they would pick the worst looking guys who looked just terrible, like they'd scooped them off the streets, and you had to be afraid of people like that.
Yep.
And that's not what it's become.
I
just wonder, I mean, tonight, do you have enough beds for the people who may come in? From this
We'll
awful
house
weather?
everybody, anybody who comes in the door, so long as they can manage their behavior, we will keep them safe. That's really the commitment. And what happens, and that happens often overnight and over the weekend, and then the first thing in the morning or on Monday morning when staff gets there, we do an evaluation. What do we have available? What can we offer this individual? We're a resource for the Westerly Police Department, for all of the police departments in the area when they find somebody, in the middle of the night who needs shelter. We take folks in.
So I never actually knew you were an acronym. I thought you were the Warm Center because it was a place to get warm.
Oh, yeah.
Or cool in the summer
Right.
when it's warm. I never understood that, because, like, when there's a disaster or something, where I grew up, they have warm centers.
Right.
The school turns into a warm
Warming.
center.
Right. Usually
Yeah,
said
warming.
that
Okay,
warming
warming
centers
centers.
and
But I
cooling
mean,
centers.
we're in Westerly. Everybody drops everything off the end of the word. Like, you got fritat, you got soupy. So, like, I thought, okay, we got warm center
Right.
instead of warming.
Right.
And so, like,
One of those Italian things.
well,
I don't know
it's
I
one
don't know
of
what
those
you're talking
Italian
about.
things. This job is hard enough because everybody talks with their hands and moves the camera all around the place.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
I have a face
Gives
for
me
radio.
something to do. Actually, I have a beautiful picture of you. What do you do in crisis situations where there's a deep freeze, a bomb cyclone, a flood?
Have had the, I guess, privilege, I don't know if that's the right word, to experience all of those in my time at Warm. We had the floods of 2012 and or 2010, and we've had multiple superstorm Sandy.
Right.
And the word from the board, from me to the staff to others, is the door is open. We bring them in and we figure it out.
Is it possible to, like, you don't have a bed, a cot, something? Can they just sit there?
Yep.
That night? Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It really, and that is really, and I'll be honest with you, is based on somebody's willingness to just hold it together in the time that they're there.
Hang tight.
It's safety, personal safety is priority.
Yeah.
And we want to keep people safe, but we want to keep everybody safe. But again, I'll revert back to the generosity of the community. There are often times in those kinds of situations, DJ, where We rent motel rooms and we put people in motel rooms and we keep families safe in motels.
Awesome.
We get to do that because of the generosity of the community that we're able to meet those kinds of needs.
Russell, thank you so much.
Always
Gina,
a pleasure.
thank you and the staff for what you've done, not just for Warren, but for Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center. And I understand she's not coming in. She's got a problem. We've got Jonnycake waiting to come.
Yes.
But we are going to take a 5-minute break, run some more commercials.
I
and
am
then-
going to say, if you are driving and cannot write anything down, take a screenshot now. We have the Warren Center phone number and address on the bottom of the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are you going to take another shrimp out to baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have Angie sit with Lee.
What's going on, guys? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners, and I'm just here with an important message. We are now doing Fios, and right now when you sign up for Verizon Fios, you guys get a free Xbox along with some exclusive discounts when you partner with your Verizon Wireless mobile account. So stop spending hundreds of dollars for internet and cable. Come on down here, cut the cord, and let's get you a great value, save you some money, and get you a free Xbox. We'll see you soon.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Dunn's Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Brunch has arrived at Surf Cantina every Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't miss our weekly specials like Monday Night Industry Night, Taco Tuesday with DJ Trivia, $1 Wing Wednesdays, Reggae Thursdays, DJs every weekend at 10 p.m. and karaoke on Sundays at 8. Only at Surf Cantina, 15 Canal Street in downtown Westerly.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interest in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Westerly office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
We are back in here at the Navigant Credit Union, and it's
That's their
still.
ceiling. You
Are,
can still see Rhoda in the TV.
are we on though?
We are on.
Oh, okay. Then you shouldn't be talking. We are back here at the Navigant Credit Union. This is the holiday party. And while it's nice to get presents and nice to have Santa Claus and nice to have all the great food that Navigant's provided over there, it's even nicer when you give it away. And you heard what Gina said, that it's always been a culture, the culture of the Navigant Credit Union, to give service to the community that their branch is in. So the minute they opened the doors here, they were out in the community. So if you haven't met her before, you're going to meet Angelina Swain, known as Angie. She is the assistant branch manager here at Westerly. And you've been working with Lee Eastbourne at Jonnycake Center.
Yes.
And I'll ask you, Lee, when she throws it to you, let people know, since we are streaming and this is going essentially all over the world, let them know what the Jonnycake Center is, because somebody in Ellensburg, Washington doesn't even know what a Jonnycake
absolutely.
is. Okay, so speak, lady.
Well, this is our basket that we made for you. With our collections.
Can people see that basket?
Yep.
I'm looking.
So we collected
No.
disinfectant,
There we go.
counter wipes, aluminum foil, snack bags, sandwiches, quart, gallon, saran wrap, and free and clear detergent.
These are things that Jonnycake told you they would like,
Yes.
that they need, correct?
Yes, we contacted them and asked what the need was. We didn't want to just start collecting something that they weren't going to need or what the community needs. So this is what they told us, and we obliged, and
You
we're
went
happy,
above and beyond. Look at that.
We're happy to provide this for our community.
Okay. So, Lee, you are the
Yes.
executive director.
That is correct. Yes.
At Jonnycake. And tell folks out there in the middle of America or wherever they are around the world what a Jonnycake is or
Sure.
what it is that you do.
Absolutely. Yes. So the Jonnycake Center of Westerly is a nonprofit community resources organization that serves about 2,500 unique individuals in the Westerly Chariho community here in kind of Southwest Rhode Island. We help folks that are in crisis, low and moderate income families, families who are experiencing poverty related to food assistance programs, and we have a full wraparound social service and community resource office on site right here in the north end of town. So folks that have particular struggles in their household, if they have a hunger need, we have a number of different programs related to food assistance and hunger support, and also financial assistance related to what we consider the necessities of the household.
And you got the best thrift store in town.
We do.
Always wins number one when the newspaper votes.
I'm very biased, but I will say this tonight at the Business After Hours that we're hosting. I think the thrift store is one of the hidden gems in Westerly,
Oh, it
related
is.
to the amount of space we have and the amount of items that we have available for sale. But also not just that, what the thrift store does for the centre, both to support our organization, but also to support the service side of the organization as well. So the thrift store generates about 50% of our annual operating revenue. And to give you an idea, our average item in the store is very, very low, about $2.20. So it's completely volume based. Folks that are shopping in the store support the organization from the thrift store side of things, and everything that store makes over our expenses goes right back into the organization to support our food assistance programs and also support our community resources office as well.
And when you go into that thrift store, there is no smell. It's not like some grandma's attic somewhere. It's clean. It's beautifully lit. And they have sales and they have goodies and they have specials. You can go in there several times a week and never know what you're going to find.
Definitely. We see
There's a
folks
whole
several times a day.
room. You got a room of media.
Yes.
I mean, that one room is books and tapes and cassettes even and CDs and all kinds of stuff. Just great. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, pretty much anything you can think of that you may need in your life. We have there. We have clothes and shoes and accessories,
furniture,
appliances, electronics, media, children's items, and a much more. And one of the
jars.
Yes, mason jars, glassware, anything you can think of really. And one of the things that we really strive to do, both on the thrift store side of things and when you come to the Centre for Service, is to make the organisation a welcoming place to come. For folks that are maybe coming to us for any particular service, we understand that it may be a challenging time for them. They may be in crisis, or very much so are in crisis. So to have that dignified, welcome environment is really important to us, and also to the thrift store as well, which is open to the public. But we also want to make sure it's an enjoyable place to come and shop, knowing that your support through donations or through making a purchase in the store is supporting the service side of the centre, and that's folks in our local area. Westerly, Charahoe is the region that we support on the service side of things. So all of your dollars you're spending, all of the donations you're making to the centre to enable us to generate revenue is staying in the local community.
And now I'd like you to shock everyone, because I get shocked every time I hear it. So use your Rhode Island accent that you have. That is not a Rhode Island
My Cranston accent.
And tell people how much money that thrift store provides in
Sure.
a year.
Yeah,
that
so,
just blows me away every time.
The thrift store is budgeted this year to generate just over $1.2 million. And for some folks that is a big number. I very much admit
It's
that.
huge.
That's about 50% of our revenue. But there is significant need here in Westerly and the Charahoe region. So it's a big number. As I mentioned, $2.20 is an average item. Our average basket is somewhere in the region of $16 to $18. So it's again volume based. Yes,
to get to
you can imagine how many baskets that takes to get to that number.
Yeah.
But there's significant need here in town, in Westerly, in the Charahoe region, as Angie and I were talking about just a few minutes ago. For some folks, there may be a perception that Westerly is a very affluent town, and in some parts of Westerly, that is the case. We must say that those parts of town are incredible supporters of the organization. But what you also see is the north end of town, especially, where you start to see that lower moderate income. You start to see some pockets of poverty, and we are there to serve that community. So yes, it is a big number. It's about 50% of our operating revenue, but there is significant outgoings related to the service side of the centre that we distribute to the local community.
But I think it's very smart that you are geographically placed in the north end of town.
Yes.
So you're with the people
We
that
are.
there, and you're not in Watch Hill next to Taylor Swift's house.
Correct.
So,
we were founded in
Would
Bradford.
you welcome Taylor Swift if she?
Taylor, if you're watching and listening, we would love to host you and give you a tour of the building for sure. Yes, but So Jonnycake, one thing to note is we're celebrating 50 years of service next year, 2025.
Big party.
Which is, yes, we've got a
That-
bunch of events planned.
Oh, great.
We were founded in Bradford, not too far away from here, on the bottom level of the Bradford Post Office, and moved to Westerly in 2007. And really that was a case of, one, we had outgrown our space in Bradford, and two, very simply, we just looked at the clients we were serving and their addresses, where they were located. And that was for the vast majority of folks in Westerly, about anywhere between 80 to 85% of our client base are Westerly-based residents. And the majority of that 85% is in the north end of town. And it was just happenstance that the building that we're still in now was available in 2007. We moved to Westerly, rented for 14 years to 2021, and we're in a position to buy the building where we are still calling home at the end of 2021, which was
God,
great
Jenny.
news. So all good stuff, lots going on at the center, keeping us on our toes for sure.
Great. So what plans have you? I always, when I'm there, I look at the space and I think, you need a lot more room than you have. And I don't mean the thrift store. You do a great job with
Sure.
that. But I'm, when I'm coming in to help and working in the pantry, and I'm parking around the back and then in the pantry itself, and I think, you do so much. You need more room. Do you have ideas of taking
We
over the world?
we do. So we own the building, which is about a 45,000 square foot building, and we're blessed to have about 2/3 of that right now, about 30,000 square feet. We have a couple of open spaces towards the back of the building that we're planning to make some changes to hopefully in the next year or two. We are hoping to launch a capital campaign for a couple of different renovation projects at the center. But space, I think for most folks, most businesses, most organizations that are growing is always at a premium. We have 3 tenants in the building, which is great. Yes, so they occupy the other 15,000 square feet of space or so. So it's a balancing act. There's obviously space that they occupy. All 3 are wonderful tenants, which is great news to have, great tenants and great partners on site at the building. But we do have some plans for some of the open space that we have at the center on site on Industrial Drive.
Now, Angie, does Navigant help out there? Do they go there like they go to other places?
Yes,
Big nod of the head. Yes, go ahead, Angie.
We do.
You can do that now. We have cameras.
Yes,
I'm so proud of
And
you.
normally we say you can't do
Yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, it's exciting. We go and help at the thrift store. So whether it be helping them sort the clothes, helping them organize the shelves, just making it presentable for those that are coming in to shop. We also started this summer working at the Giving Garden. So
Yes.
that was
that would have been
a
my
lot of
next.
fun. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's great because I'm not a gardener. I can weed, so that was perfect for me. But to know that they're supplying the pantry and that it just again like reciprocates, back to the people at the pantry.
Now you're
It's
talking about the Giving Garden
Giving
out
Garden.
in Charlestown.
In Charlestown,
Yes.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is fantastic. When I went out there, I didn't even know that existed. I knew that on Wednesdays under the tent in the back parking lot that you had like a farmer's market for
Yes.
people. But I didn't realize that there was a Giving Garden until I went and saw it.
Yes, that's actually located in Ninigret Park in Charlestown, right next to the senior center. And we're blessed actually just on Monday evening, just gone, we had a resolution from the town of Charlestown to extend our lease there for the next 5 years. It was just coming to the end
How
of our
nice.
lease at the end of this month, December 31st. And the town of Charlestown have been wonderful supporters and partners of ours to allow us and enable us to have another 5-year lease. And a lot of those items, or all of those items that are grown there in the center, in the Giving Garden, fresh produce wise, then come to Westerly and support our summer produce market. So lots going on. But if I can, I also just want to mention again Navigant and their support, physical items, volunteerism, financial donations to the center from their philanthropic arm. They have been wonderful. I know they've been in town for a relatively short period of time, but as soon as Navigant arrived here in Westerly, they reached out to us. I know they're obviously supporters of the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Centre, the WOM Centre, obviously with Russ as well. Just a few minutes ago, they have been consistent, wonderful supporters of the centre, and we cannot thank them enough. And one thing, again, Angie and I were talking about just a few minutes ago is, for some folks, maybe the perception of non-profit organisations is that because we continue to solicit support and donations in a number of different ways, that we are continually taking as centres or organisations. And as part of the Jonnycake Centre's bylaws, if we pass a certain amount of revenue to budget revenue on our budget, we have to pass what's called a balanced budget. So very easy numbers. If you have an income of $100,000, we have to budget that $100,000 to go out into the community. A significant amount of that is for service, but other than that, we have financial institutions that we work with. We have printers and insurance, and if our truck needs assistance or help, we go to Midas here in town. So we support Navigant on the other side of things and keep all of our support, or as much as we physically can. We keep our outgoing funds and support local to the Westerly, Charahoe kind of Mystic, Pawcatuck, Stonington community. So Navigant have been incredible supporters of us from the very, very second they walked into Westerly, or open up their branch here in Westerly. So we very much appreciate their support.
Do you have in staff now? I know you have full and part-time.
We do. We have full-time staff, kind of myself and kind of senior leadership team that are generally kind of in that 40 plus hours per week.
Have
kind
40
of
plus full-time?
Sorry, 40 plus hours for our full-time staff.
Oh.
40 and more on some busy occasions. And we have just approaching 50 staff between full and part-time, and a regular army of volunteers as well that just do incredible work. So it's a blessing to have the folks that we have in the building who are committed to the success of the centre and our mission. It's incredible to have them, and my heartfelt thanks to all of the folks that are involved
I love
with Jonnycake.
how you think of little things for your people. I know when I go and I check in to work at the pantry and I go around the front and I'm talking to Jen, they'll have things like register your child's birthday. And if there's a birthday coming up, they'll help with a gift.
Correct.
Toy, or there are this time of year you can get mittens and scarves and things, but there's always something. The last time I was there, it was busy, and there was a little boy, and they had him seated at a little low desk just off the floor, and he was coloring.
Sure.
And he was the happiest kid in the world while his mom was waiting for her turn.
That's me.
We do our very best to react to client need and client requests. If we don't have a program in place at the centre and we're able to institute it, we do. If we have a program that's not quite functioning as well as it possibly could, we do our very best to change it as well. And this is part of one of the programs that we have. We have kind of a household and hygiene and personal care section of our food pantry that we know is, can be significantly expensive for folks. So to have these items and have them go to very good use is really, really important to us. And that's something that we instituted during the pandemic.
There was something that touched me, like you mentioned the birthdays. So I'd gone and I was walking through the pantry, and they had shown me a section that they have for birthday parties for the children. And one of the ladies had said, she was like, yeah, she said, it's a little slim right now. I couldn't help but come back to the branch and say, okay, we need to make a donation box of birthday party items. And we all just went crazy with them because, like just Paw Patrol and princesses.
Cups.
It's like they go home and they go to school and they see that their friends are having these birthday parties, and they want birthday party for themselves. And it's amazing that the Jonnycake Center has that part of their program, so that the children don't even
Yeah.
They don't miss a beat.
No.
And
Yeah,
the other thing that you do this time of year, because I know people have to sign up by, I think, the end of October, you give gift cards and things so they can go get a turkey or ham or whatever for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah,
and everything
so
that goes with it.
That's correct. Yeah, October, November, December, centre-wide is the 3 busiest months of our year. We have a lot of programming on the service side. Our thrift store is busy, but specifically related to this program, we have a three-pronged, holiday program. The first one is a Thanksgiving meal. That's obviously already happened. The second one is a Christmas meal. And the third one is the Children's Adopt a Family program, in which we're able to have the community, and this is all community-based, that come together, adopt a particular family based on if they have any particular preference of age of children, any kind of demographic data or particular preferences that the donor family has. For the most part, we can make happen. And really, we anonymously connect a family that has registered for the program with a donor, who then go out and pick up gift cards that were then provided to the family to enable that family to then go out and shop for Christmas and put some Christmas cheer under the Christmas
means
tree.
a great deal. I mean,
It
like
does.
Angie
It
said,
does.
that way kids don't know that they're not getting or they don't have. They're
Yeah.
getting what everyone else is getting.
The
which
the
is
big
great.
thing, and I can speak from personal kind of a personal anecdote, is my wife and I, we have 2 children. We have an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, and a big part of that is preparing for Christmas. A big part of our Christmas tradition is getting things ready
Big
ourselves.
part of your
and
wallet.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Right.
So we actually both have taken Friday off, this coming Friday, to go out and do a little bit of kind of Christmas preparation, grab some lunch together, and it's a big part of our annual Christmas tradition. So again, and that the dignified side of things, to provide an opportunity for folks to go out and take care of Christmas for their family is really what we're all about.
Both you and Russell, and I know if Sue Sedensky was here from the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, she would agree. You all use words like dignity and respect. And I've always seen that there. Nobody ever gets the feeling that they're going for a handout or that they're lesser than anyone who works there or contributes there.
Sure. Dignity is one of the core principles of not just Jonnycake, but I think of social service, community resource, support organizations that, again, as I mentioned, folks are coming to us on what is very, very likely a challenging day. And it may be one of a multitude of challenges that are in the household right now. So to recognize that, to have professional staff on site, to keep things as confidential as possible is really important to Jonnycake and other nonprofits in our area. It's a human thing. We started this transition back in 2017 when we moved our food pantry from what was considered a moderate level of client choice to a full open client choice model, where folks come into our food pantry, shop for themselves, do everything that they would do a regular grocery store or regular market. And we've just kind of moved that forward and continue to progress and move that into community resources on the Adopt a Family side of things and the Christmas and holiday program.
And another thing that I should mention, not because I was involved in it, but I think it's great that you have a heating assistance program.
We do.
For people.
We do. We just had a fundraiser, as you're fully aware, Rona, as part of that. The Lions and the Rotary Club. Just back last month in November, we had a Pastered and emergency fuel assistance fundraiser at the Calabrese Club. So thanks to the Calabrese Club as well for hosting us continually, which really just supports winter heating oil, knowing that it's an expensive time of year with everything else that is going on. Some folks in our community that come to the center are maybe having to make a choice between a couple of extra degrees of heat in the home or having a cold home, but having their household fed. Or is it a case of we're a little warmer and going hungry? So the winter fuel assistance heating program is really an important factor of what we do over kind of these cold winter months.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I heard, I don't know how accurate it is, it probably is pretty accurate, that between Rotary and the Lions, about $10,000.
I just heard that rumor on Monday night myself, so we are incredibly
And
thankful.
it's a lot of money, and yet if you think about what oil heat costs, you can't possibly heat everyone for the whole winter,
Sure.
but you surely can make a dent.
Absolutely. That's what we try and do, is kind of meet the needs of a community as much as we're physically able to as a centre. And again, thanks to the Rotary Club of Westerly, the Lions Club, and the Calabrese Club for continuing to support us, not just us, but many other non-profits. And that's one of the themes that we see here in this local community, is that it's businesses, for-profit companies, organizations that are not just choosing one non-profit. It's a multiple number of non-profits that these organizations and businesses are serving and supporting. And we, as a group of non-profits, are very much appreciative of that.
Westerly is a great community. It really is. Like, you were born and raised here, right, Angie?
Right.
That brings me to a viewer's question. Lee, are you Welsh?
No, English.
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 All right.
So born and raised in Bradford, funnily enough, where
that come
Jonnycake
across?
was
Yeah.
founded. Amazingly, that's sometimes the way it goes, which is about 3 hours north of London, but probably a lot closer to Wales, or is a lot closer to Wales. So I generally have that kind of more broad northern accent as opposed to,
But you've
you know,
been
the King
here-
or Queen's English.
You've been here so long. But you've probably looked around and heard the Rhode Island accent and said, I'm not going there.
Please don't ask me to do American accent. I'm absolutely terrible at them.
So I also have another important question for
Sure.
you, because I learned about this situation and it benefits the Jonnycake Center. It's kind of like helping you help others.
Sure.
Did you ever find all your carriages?
I think we may have one or two of our thrift store carriages still out there. Funnily enough, we just did have a tip to our carriage tip line, if you will, kind of jokingly there, that came in. There was one up on White Rock Field in the north end of town that I just was able to pick up a couple of, was it last Friday, maybe Monday? We just found
that's a bit of
Sarah,
a
our
walk.
director of food programs. We just found, I think, the last outlying food pantry cart, but I think there may be, if I'm not mistaken, there might be a thrift store one still out there. But they're
Well, that's
branded
good.
with Jonnycake. If you see them, please give us a call at the center. We will zip out and throw it in the back of our car, and
I
we'll make sure
definitely-
it gets home.
I tried to buy him one, and then I think it was you. Somebody commented, "You can't just buy one; you have to buy the bulk." And I'm like, "Oh, that's
Sure,
probably really expensive."
and they're a couple of $100 a cart, so you can imagine how significant
And that
that
I was
expense
willing.
is.
I was willing to
Thank
buy
you.
the one you were missing, but
it's
then to know
amazing,
you have to
yeah.
buy a whole bunch
But,
at once, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think it's a minimum of 6. So if they do go missing, to replace one, you can't do. So then we have to buy another 6, and we may not need 6. So do we wait until we need 6 and then have an issue with not enough carts in the building? So it's a little bit of a juggling act. So please, if you see a Jonnycake cart hanging around the Westerly region, please give us a shout, and we'll zip out and pick it up.
Steal somebody else's. We are just about ready to end, and when I say end, I think of Gina. See how you take
that could have a lot of meaning.
Gina Brancato.
We'll go with save the best for last. 'cause
Yes,
there's other
definitely.
ends I don't want to be part of.
Definitely.
She is the branch manager, and you did a wonderful job, as you always do. I
You
mean,
make
when you see
us
all
look
this
good, Rona.
stuff, and the community did a great job collecting all this stuff.
Yes. Well, it's an easy effort. It's not a tough ask. So we enjoy it. We enjoy being part of Jonnycake, obviously, which I know Angie spoke about in Pawcatuck neighborhood. We missed them today. Warm also, but we love you guys being here, allowing us to get our word out, to get our brand out, and to show our community who Navigant is in Westerly. And we just want people to come in and visit and introduce themselves so we can meet them. And we hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy, healthy New Year.
You as well.
Yes. Thank you.
And happy Hanukkah too. It starts on the 25th.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yes.
Yes. And we will
All of the above.
hopefully be back in 2025 sitting right here with you again.
We hope so.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody, next week we will have at 3:00 the movie guy. He will be back. And, I was thinking Lee was speaking, and I thought, okay, so that's the Wednesday before Christmas. Then I realized Christmas is a Wednesday. New Year's Day is a Wednesday. Next week's our last show till 2025. So, yeah, good time to sign off so I can punch her. We wish you all a very good week. Tune in next week. and let us live stream you to another universe. Have a good one.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do you want to get your business in front of over 100,000 viewers every month? Advertise with 321 and enjoy the best value in local advertising while supporting free community live streams. Your message will be seen across live high school sports, morning shows, and local events, connecting you directly with engaged audiences, boosting your visibility, growing your brand, and helping us keep these broadcasts accessible to everyone for free. Partner with 321 today and watch your business thrive.